Nick DePaula, you just got back from China with Klay Thompson, who was promoting his shoe with Anta. China Klay, I mean, I think China Klay is almost more famous than regular Klay at this point. I mean, scaffolding Klay, as Ramona and I have discussed, we're big fans of scaffolding Klay, but China Klay is awesome. And you got to be with China Klay in China. What was the most fun about that?
So I went this summer, I went last summer too.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I think it all started last summer with that 360 missed dunk. Most people don't know, but that was actually the 5th time he missed that dunk.
Wow.
So their flight was delayed 4 hours in Hong Kong. They went straight from the airport to the event.
Right.
And then he tried to do that dunk right off the plane, missed it 5 times in a row. And when he gave that half-hearted fist pump, I think that kind of set the tone for the whole phenomenon in China Klay. And then from there, every city he went to, he just kind of owned it, was doing all kinds of funny antics, dancing, as you can see, just interacting with fans everywhere. And I think the thing, too, is, you know, he just signed an $80 million extension with Anta last summer, too, which, of course, makes him more excited to be engaged with the brand and things like that. So every single event he was going to, he was wearing a mic, he was owning the crowd, he was just, I think, much more personality than what anybody else sees in the U.S., and it's a whole different side of him, which is fun.
That's super interesting. What was the Steve Kerr line to you about Klay Thompson?
I want to be Klay Thompson when I grow up.
Well, that, and I think he said he's not just low maintenance, he's no maintenance, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty good, too. I love that he became like this rock star persona around you in China, though.
And in terms of being low maintenance, no maintenance, he signs the $80 million deal. 2 days later, he's flying in coach middle seat,
Wait,
just
no
across the row from me.
No way.
You know, and his brother had the aisle, which was funny.
Wait, you give him $80 million and don't pay for business class? What's going on with that?
Usually guys get a private jet, take a buddy or two.
Yeah.
He brought 5 friends instead. So he wanted to have his whole crew with him. They were going all around China.
That is amazing.
It was awesome. And I think that speaks to just
Wow.
you know, how willing he is to chip in and help out.
Yeah. Woo. That speaks to many things. Moving on to LeBron James. He is now a Los Angeles Laker. I assume Nike is ecstatic that they have combined markets. All of the, you know, everything has come true for them.
I love the plane
So how
landing
does it
video.
impact? I know, it's all we have right now, Ramona. Although they could get him in the pool, right? They could pick up some IG video.
Yep.
How does that impact the sneaker market that he's here in LA?
So, I mean, for a long time now, obviously, LeBron has transcended markets being in Cleveland and Miami, but when you're in New York or LA, there's no denying the impact that can have. And I think for Nike, they're looking at this to really launch a lot of the retro conversations. You know, they've only retroed one of his shoes so far with the Generation. They're going to start to really ramp that up. And there's so much that he's potentially doing in the movie world and obviously just the global fan base they have, too, with the Lakers franchise. So with the LeBron 16 this year, they're going to bring back LeBron Watch, which was a big part of making LeBron 15 such a popular shoe. They're going to have a lot of fun with it.
So I read that he's not getting more money from them for his Nike shoes.
How could he? It's a lifetime $1 billion deal or something, right?
So his very first rookie deal, there were clauses for New York, LA, Chicago, and the Bay. The lifetime deal doesn't matter anymore. He has proven to be, you know, a global icon that he is, and so it doesn't matter. And there's no clauses that's going to, you know, give him an incentive to play in LA versus another city.
That's interesting. I do want to get to Puma, though, because, boy, back in the basketball market, right, after a long absence, big splashes with this new rookie class. Deandre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, Michael Porter Jr., Rudy Gay. Jay-Z has been named creative director. Our own Jalen Rose is a consultant. What is your reaction to this, Nick?
I thought it was great. Last year was Big Baller Brand. This year was Puma. I don't think anybody expected either going into the draft to be the dominant conversation. But, you know, for Puma, the big learning was they had Vince Carter in '98. They got out of the deal within 2 years, and they were pretty much stuck and didn't have any other players. This year, they want to have more of a balanced roster. So they got 2 top picks, Michael Porter Jr. as well, Zaire Smith. And this fall, there's going to be a bunch of shoe free agents they're going to go after as well. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. They're going to be really aggressive, and the Clyde Court's going to be their revamped shoe from Clyde Frazier's shoe that they're going to really get behind this fall.
Do we think that any of these guys they just signed, though, can actually sell shoes right away?
So that was the one thing, too, was they did, you know, they were after Trae Young, they were after Colin Sexton. They ended up signing a lot of big guys. Historically, big guys don't sell shoes is, of course, the adage. So I think you're going to see them try to get more of a balance this fall. You have guys like Kelly Oubre, Joel Embiid, Gordon Hayward, a lot of other guys this fall they can go after.
Well, this leads into our next question, not necessarily from Puma, but I see this constantly as an internet conversation. Who is the next guy to get a signature shoe? Because it is not as common as people think. There's this perception that all these guys who are, quote, signed to Nike, oh, they all have their own shoes. They don't all have their own shoes. Getting a signature shoe is a huge risk for a company to take, right?
There's only 12 players that have a signature shoe with a U.S. brand now. And so I think Donovan Mitchell is a guy around the corner with Adidas that could be really exciting and potentially get a signature shoe. And then a guy who's not up until next fall is Devin Booker, who I think every brand is circling, and he kind of checks the boxes on a lot of things that you look for in a signature athlete. And also that Phoenix team, potentially in 3 to 4 years, once he's really hitting his stride, they might be putting it together on court too. So he's an intriguing one for sure.
You mentioned that big men typically don't sell shoes. What are the sort of things when they're looking for who should our signature shoe guy be? What are the categories?
You know, usually players, the most relatable players are who the kids are going after. So Allen Iverson back in the day, Steph Curry, of course. And if you're 7 feet tall, you're Shaq, Mutombo, and Ewing. Sometimes it's harder to relate to, and oftentimes those shoes need more support and are more clunky. You know, a guy I didn't mention that is going to have a signature shoe that's already in the works is Giannis. And of course, he is 6'11", 7 foot, but he's also such a hybrid and different kind of player. So he is kind of the outlier on that.
And he's got the global brand from Greece, Europe, all over the place. But guys, as much as I know that Giannis is excited about the possibility, the guy who could do it is Embiid.
Yeah.
I wish Embiid,
For a big guy, yeah.
I wish they could create a shoe for Embiid where he made some goofy play and he could send out a tweet right off.
From the shoe!
Right off the shoe.
From the shoe! He would pay
like
the fine
pump
for that.
from way
He's still
back.
not allowed
That
to tweet
would
during a
be
game. He'd pay the fine.
unbelievable.
If Puma signs Embiid and his unveiled photo is alongside Rihanna, that would just break the internet. It would break everything. Maybe they should go ahead and do that. I don't know.
That's right.
That's amazing. Dude, if they come up with the in-shoe tweet technology, you need to get a cut of that.
I mean, it's waiting to be had when he's standing there waving at the crowd and pumping everybody
You can't bring
up.
that up without photos of you with some Reebok pumps when you were a kid.
I had the Shaq shoes. I had all what I needed back in the day.
Right.
I still can't dunk, though.
This Nick, thank you for joining us. This
Thanks a
Nick
lot.
is going to stick around. That Nick, come back soon, please. We love having you here.